If I could go back in time, I'd like to meet myself in high school specifically. Now, I know that sounds weird since you would think I knew who I was, but as it turns out, I only thought I did. The me that I knew in high school is completely different from the me that everyone who I encountered knew. Everyone sees themselves in a certain light and knows things about themselves that nobody else does, even your closest friends. So, when I think about myself in high school, I think of a very stressed, very emotional teenager who was struggling to figure out what she wanted to do with her life as college application deadlines approached. I was constantly tired and always wishing for a nap. I was self-conscious, just like every other girl in the world, due to the pressures put on us by our friends. I was someone who was a part of a group, but never seemed to quite fit in. I saw myself as the girl who wanted to lead, but never felt like she could do it. I was constantly worrying about what people were thinking about me. This is the Megan that I saw when I was in high school. But if I could go back in time, I'd get the chance to see what everyone else saw. Would I meet a girl who was hardworking and determined, or constantly in a bad mood because of an overloaded schedule? Would I meet a girl who was overly emotional, or would that emotion come across as compassion and devotion to those closest to her? Would I meet a girl who had talents to share, but was pushy about it, or would I be someone who was confident in their talent in a humble way? Would I meet a girl whose attention was annoying, or would that attention show that friendships were a valued priority? Was high school me trying too hard to be liked, or was she genuinely outgoing with a loud personality? Going back in time to meet myself could be the best decision or the worst decision I could ever make. Worst case scenario, I find out that I was just the absolute worst person to be around in high school, and if that was the case, I am so sorry, class of 2016. But a more reasonable outcome. I would see myself more positively than I did in high school. All those little things about myself that I felt like everyone noticed and scrutinized suddenly vanished, as if they had never existed, because in reality, they didn't exist. No one ever said a thing about them. I was just paranoid. I would see that all that worrying was for nothing. Although, I have to admit, I do believe I would meet a girl who was definitely as awkward as she thought, because, let's be honest, if you don't look back at that time in your life and cringe a little bit, were you even a teenager? If I could go back in time, I'd like to meet myself, because in meeting myself, I would gain a new perspective on my life.